So in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest mistakes that I feel like a lot of beginner and intermediate players make, and that is standing too far behind the kitchen line. The closer you are to the kitchen line and the more you lean over the kitchen line, the less defensive or neutral balls and the more offensive balls that you can hit. I want you to think conceptually. The closer you get to the kitchen line, or the further out in front you can hit, the higher up the ball will be. The higher the ball that you hit, the more offensive you can be. The lower the ball that you hit, the more defensive you will be. Why is a low ball defensive and a high ball is offensive? I want you to think. If the ball's super high, you're coming down on the net. If the ball is super low, you're hitting up on the net. My goal in this video is to get you hitting balls higher than the net up the kitchen line, not sacrificing that distance, and to win way more pickleball points. So make sure to stay tuned for this video. All right, so this is what I mean. A lot of players, they either start here because they're afraid to go into the kitchen, or they start here but then they revert to back here because maybe they're afraid, maybe they want more time when their opponent is going to hit it. I want you to think, look, if I'm back here and I start out here, look how far I can extend. I can probably make contact, and again, I can't be on the kitchen, I can't be in the kitchen if I take the ball out in the air, but I can lean over the kitchen. This is where I hit the ball. Now look, if I move up this kitchen line, look, I can make contact over the kitchen line almost halfway between the net and the kitchen line. Look, a ball super high. The further back the ball goes, gravity is going to occur and the ball is going to get lower. So if this is a defensive ball back here, maybe up here it's a neutral or it's an offensive ball. Look where my paddle is now. The higher my paddle is, the more I can come down on the ball because I'm over the net. The lower my paddle is, if I make contact here, how am I going to get this ball over the net? I have to hit up. I can't be offensive if I'm hitting up. The only time that I can be offensive if I am hitting down on the ball. Or if you get more advanced, you can drop your center of gravity and hit it, but that's more for another video. So the whole goal is to make sure that you guys are getting up at the kitchen line. Now, I like to say you want to be a ball's length, a pickleball's length behind this kitchen line. You need to stay up at this kitchen line. You don't want to be back here. Now, well, Tyler, I'm afraid. It's too fast, the balls are going too fast, everything like that. Guys, what are you going to do? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I said, if you're hitting a ball high, they can be offensive. If you're hitting the ball low, you're going to have to be defensive. So don't give your opponent a high ball. You're never going to get the ball smashed at you, or if you do, it's going to go super out if you make your opponents make contact down here. The only time your opponent's going to smash the ball at you is when you give them a ball up here. So if you don't want to move back, don't give your opponents a high shot. Now, here's another thing. When you're at this kitchen line, I don't want you to be fully straight. Watch, I'm fully straight, tin soldier right now, no flexibility whatsoever. Look how far I can get. The lower I get, the more I get into the legs, the more forward I can extend. When I'm hitting, I want to make sure my feet are back behind the kitchen line. Unless the ball bounces, then you can go in, right? But then also, I want to make sure that I'm trying to take the ball as early as possible, okay? I'm trying to make contact out in front. A lot of players, they revert back and they start to go back here because what do? They take the ball on the bounce rather than in the air. A lot of beginners, a lot of people playing out, picking up pickleball, starting pickleball, they're going to go like this because someone's going to dink the ball. It's going to be in the air, right? And they're going to move back to let it bounce. Instead of moving back to let the ball bounce, you want to try to take the ball out of the air, just like I said. You never want to move back behind this kitchen line after this video unless one thing. And what is that? Two things. Number one, your opponent or yourself sets you up for a sitting duck, okay? Maybe you might be able to get that point back, but you also have just as good as a chance of getting a black eye. So don't do that, okay? If the ball's super high, right, just move out of the way maybe, okay, if we're a beginner, intermediate player. But then also, if the ball's a lob. Any other time, if the ball's not a lob or not sitting like a duck that your opponent's going to smash at you at the kitchen, you are going to be up at this kitchen line. You're not going to start back here. You're not going to end up back here. Why? Because instead of moving back and letting the ball bounce, you're going to make sure that you stay up and you take the ball up and out in front in the air. Now, a great way, okay, if you're more advanced, if you're getting into pickleball, okay, you want to be on your toes, you want to be going forward, but a great thing for a lot of beginners or intermediate players, low intermediate players, is if you struggle with staying at the kitchen line, what you're going to do is you're going to put all of your weight on your heels. Once again, this is for people picking it up. Again, if you're more advanced, you want to be on your toes, yes, I know, but if you are a beginner player, or if you struggle with going backwards every single time, your weight is going to be in your heels. I want you to think, if my weight's on my toes or if I'm standing straight up, if you came and pushed me, not super hard, but like this, I'd fall right over. But if you can get in more of a ready position, drop your center of gravity, get your weight in your heels. Now, if you try to come up and push me right now like this, not super hard again, I wouldn't go anywhere. So a great drill to do is get your partner to be at the kitchen with you, and all you're going to do is keep your weight in your heels and just try to hit with them. Do not take a step back. Pretend right behind you, I want you to visualize it's a cliff, right? Maybe if I get more subscribers, maybe I'll be able to do a cool Photoshop video and someone could make an actual like cliff, right, behind the kitchen. That's a really good idea for a video. I just don't know how to do that. But pretend behind me there's a cliff. The only time that there's not a cliff, again, is if you're set up like a sitting duck or they pop the ball at you. Again, the best drill, and what I want you guys to do, is stay at this kitchen line. Make sure you drill at this kitchen line. If you struggle with staying at this kitchen line, you and your partner are going to drill, and you're going to do everything you can with your weight in your heels and just not move back. Whatever happens, you're not moving back. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if we can stay up at the kitchen line and not a little bit behind, you are going to be able to hit higher balls and either hit offensive or neutral balls instead of defensive balls because you gave up that distance. This much distance between you and the kitchen line makes so much difference when you're playing pickleball. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share with a friend, make sure to share with your partner if they keep on moving back. And if you guys want, click the link in the description to get any type of Selkirk paddle with my promo code. If you guys want programs in your areas, you guys want tournaments, corporate events, fundraising events, whatever type of event that you want, make sure you click this Google form and fill it out with all your information. We'll have a Universal Rackets representative get right to you soon. And also make sure to join our meetup, another link in the description, for free live trainings and clinics nearby. Have a good one. See you guys next time on court.